Thanks for joining us on Knuckleball Prime Time as we continue, discussing sports from all over Southeast Missouri. And great to be joined by Head Coach Briley Palmer from the Semo Redhawks. Sounds weird. I've said so many times, great to be joined by Coach Briley Palmer, head coach of the Mineral Area College Ladies, but I got to get used to this now. Are you used to it yet?
There's sometimes too, I'm like, when we get back to MAC or when we get, do those things. And I know that Dayton and NOLA, they really will go Semo, or whatever. So we're all adjusting, but it's coming along.
All right. It was in the spring that you were named the next coach there at Cape Girardeau. Was it a whirlwind? I mean, how did it come together?
Yeah. No, there in the last couple of years, I feel like with the success we were having at MAC, that there had been some interest and to me, it was just right away, with my gut, a lot of the things that had came up, it was no, thinking about my family and what our fit is and how I want to be as a coach and, location, based and everything. And Semo was just, approached about culture and atmosphere and community. And I was like, wow, that's me. You definitely had saw that. And, I appreciate that. So that was just kind of the approach. And of course, yes, then it was a whirlwind. We had that whole team coming back and coming off a 25-5 year and had, I thought I might get a little bit better at golf because, we were going to have some time and I had the recruits done and, we were going to run it back. So yeah, my golf game's really bad and, but I'm really happy, a really great transition and it feels like home.
They always say you don't want your head coach to be the best golfer around because that means not doing it. So you're in the right spot, but your name was rising. I mean, the wins were coming. You were rising in the national rankings at MAC. Like you said, that the culture was sound. I know that you were making lots of connections in the Division I world. So I guess, even though it was a whirlwind, it couldn't have been a complete shock either.
Yeah, but it really was I think even going into that locker room that day after talking to Brady and telling him, yeah, I'm in, that it was going to tell my players, it was they were do what? And then they're like, Coach, it's not that we didn't think you could or should or whatever. They were like, we never thought you would leave MAC, you love this place. And so, that was more of a hard deal for me, just of I'm from there and believe in that place. And so I was super happy to be able to see Shep get named the new coach and for her just to take over and have that smooth transfer with that. And those kids would be taken care of and 2-0. So looks like they made the right call.
Yeah. Carrie Shepard, of course, the new coach, your assistant there at MAC. The first thing that I noticed, and I wasn't surprised at all when you actually did take over at Semo, was your support of other programs. You were all over social media. You were at the baseball games. I know you've been supporting the football team and all that other stuff. So that wasn't a surprise to me at all. Has that been reciprocated? Is kind of the athletic community supporting you there at Semo too?
Yes. Yeah. Big time. I think it's really neat. At MAC, we all were like that, but different ages and, different lifetimes truly, and with ages and kids and things. And here it's been neat because a lot of our kids are the same age. A lot of the head coaches, a lot of assistant coaches have kids the same age. So, we're running around at games and stuff. And that's really neat to me just to see other coaches' kids just being as passionate and as crazy as ours. And so, yeah, they've definitely been a big part of helping me out. And I've really, Coach Korn, we share kind of an office area down here, and his staff and our staff just working together. That's huge to me to be able to have a men's coach to be able to go down and pick their brain or say, hey, I'm going to be 15 minutes late. Can you just, because some people don't work well together. They need a plan and they need to stick. And Coach Korn and I have worked really well together. And I think that's huge for a basketball program.
And he's also successful. He's been in the NCAA tournament. So I'm sure that he'll have some, whether they're secrets or tips to share or whatever.
Yeah. No, we're definitely bouncing ideas off each other. for a little bit of everything. So yeah, I'm excited to support his group. He's got a good bunch of kids. You can just tell, I mean, being around groups that are winning and then groups that, like we've had, and you've traveled with me tons, and like, you can just tell when your culture's right. And those boys are really, they're messing with Dayton and NOLA, and they're about our girls. They're helping out with this and that. And I think that's just really neat to show their kind of, culture and atmosphere as well.
You brought up your family already a few times, and I know that's very important to you. Your husband, Jimmy, of course, athletic director at North County, was a great coach in his own right. He's gone into a new business venture, and as you guys kind of make that transition, family doing good?
Yeah, no, they're doing really good. They're excited to make the trip to Dayton as well. And, not my cousins and my brother and them, but we have quite the fan crew, taking that travel to Dayton tomorrow. And so that's neat. Just even our whole program, their parents and family members and stuff, we're using up all those complimentary tickets.
Well, I know you're not only a coach, you are also a hoops junkie. I've talked to you countless times. We just talked basketball. So the very first game you're going to coach is at a place that has the same name as one of your daughters.
Yeah.
And is also where the men's NCAA tournament starts every year. Yeah. How about that for maybe a little bit of harbinger for things to come? I don't know.
Yeah, and I've been through Dayton, but I've never been to the arena there, and I've heard it's just such a neat atmosphere to play in. And of course, yes, that was one of the games that was already set before I got here. And Jimmy made the comment, like, how crazy is that? Your first D1 game is Dayton's name. And, we have all kinds of Dayton stuff just because of Dayton having that name. And she thinks that's cool. And she did ask, like, but I'm wearing Semo stuff. And I said, yeah, you're going to wear Semo stuff.
And then the second game.
Oh, yeah.
The second game is going to be against the highest ranked team that a Semo women's program has ever played against, number 4 Texas. Why not, right?
Why not? Yeah. Well, that's, why wouldn't you? You're at this level, and as a player, why would you not want to go against the best to see like where you rank? And then again, you win the OVC tournament, you go to the tournament, you're going to have to play one of those guys. So been there, done that mentality, and just, have those goals in mind, that things that we can control to get better at. And we know we're going up against, a big time team. And like you said, the best that Semo women's basketball's ever played against. So I think that's neat, but we have the group that's just kind of fearless. And I knew that it would be a great ad to go down there and just give them that atmosphere as well, and get to, travel and do those things like the Power Fives do.
The Redhawks women's fans have seen winning basketball. Not last year, but 2 years ago was a winning record, 3 out of the last 5. Is there anything kind of inherent in the program or in, that environment that lends itself to winning basketball?
I think with OVC play and stuff, the teams that can be the most connected at the end, and you make the tournament and you get to the end, and just that if you can stay connected, and of course stay healthy is a big part of that as well. But I think every year with the OVC, and I've followed the OVC a lot just because one of my mentors being at Tennessee Martin, and we've sent players from MAC there throughout the years, and he'd have 6, sometimes 5, like finishing out the year, and would win the tournament, just because they were so connected. And I think that's what's really neat about our group, that we've had recruits in and things like that, and parents have made the comment like, Coach, so you've been here 5 years, or, and I'm like, no, five, not 5 months. Like, and that's really huge to me, that they think that our play and like, it ain't pretty all the time and stuff like that, but the kids are, the chemistry and things like that. You would think these kids have been together a long time. And I think that's neat, and it's going to be super important.
As I've watched you coach, it's defense first, usually with you. If you don't play defense, you don't play.
Right.
You use those pack line principles, but you've integrated some other things. And I've also seen you adjust as you took over from Coach Cuck. The importance of 3-point shooting, has come along. Are you kind of still in that path?
Yeah, but we have pack line. We mix it up with kind of doing some weekend stuff and some stuff that that's probably our advantage right now, that nobody knows what the heck Semo women's basketball is doing. So that'll be something. I'll send you a text of kind of what I've changed to. And I think it's really neat and been really exciting for the kids. And, we've scrimmaged two teams in close scrimmages at this point and held them to an average of 50 points and teams that are really that can really score. So it's that to me is showing that they're bought into that stuff, and we're going to play some really good teams. So we got to make some kind of advantage for ourselves. And but yes, it's a similar mindset as far as playing team defense and things. But yeah, offensively playing a little bit faster, and trying to push the tempo and not be as scared to throw it up ahead.
I saw on your media day session with the OVC, and I thought it was an astute observation by whoever asked the question. But to me, junior college coaches that move to the Division I level are maybe in a way more prepared than they ever have been with the transfer portal, because you're having to turn over teams every year, every other year at the junior college level, and it's really more like that than ever at the Division I level now too.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think that when it came and it's like, okay, now you have 2 players, here's the job, all this. And it was kind of like, you what? And it was like, well, I'm kind of used to this, it's not much different than, with junior college and stuff. But do I know what I like? Or, you get through year 1 and see what fits and what you thought would work. And I don't know, but I like what we did that quick. And I think we just got some really good kids. But yeah, the transfer portal and all that stuff, it's crazy, but you got to find some way to embrace it and do what's best to stick to your standards and your program.
Let me ask you what is immediately transferable from coaching at MAC and now coaching at SEMO, because there's so many. You're a CEO as a college basketball coach, right? You control the culture, you control it. Basically, you hire and fire everybody because you're the recruiter. You've got X's and O's in terms of strategy overall. You've got in-game strategy. All that stuff goes into it. You've got what now is called culture, right? In a program, you already referred to that. Is everything immediately transferable to the Division I level, or do you have to adjust anything?
Yeah, I definitely think you have to adjust and do that stuff. But a lot of the talks that I had with the girls is like, look, I took these pillars, or I took these standards and things, and look, here's the MAC logo that was on it, and now it's a Redhawk logo. Like, there's some things that I just truly believe in, and I know that we've put players in the OVC for many years at MAC, and that played and was able to do really well there. So I know the kind of kids that can win and be in this league. And it's just like, I think the biggest thing is like get through year 1. That's the big Coach McMillan at Martin. When he called and we still talk, and he said, every time you call me, I'm going to tell you the same thing, Bradley, like get through year 1. Get through year 1, and I get that, because there's so many things like I just want to know so bad. Like, I want to know, is that going to work? It seems like it's going to work, but is it going to work? And you just won't know until you've done it and been there. So that's just kind of the excitement to it. But yeah, definitely there has been some adjustments. My biggest weakness is definitely just trying to learn how to delegate, because as you know, I didn't have that those assistants like we do now here. And, I got thrown in here and they were here, and it's like, here, you got her. And it's like, hey, what am I going to have you do? It's one of those things. So they've helped me along a lot with, hey, this is how we do it, and giving me the ideas. And then, I can make the decision. I just need to always hear the ideas, what they've been at other places. So like, what do you think worked, and then I'll try to make the best decision that I see fit for our program and how I can do things.
I like the term they use, pillars. It sounds like you adjust, but you don't compromise.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and it's, I think that's what's made this group pretty good is, just coming, having all these different kids at different places. Their biggest thing when we met at the beginning of the summer and as they came in was like, all they talked about was maybe at their last place that they didn't have that accountability. Like they weren't held to the same standard as their other teammate or this team, and that's for sure what they're going to get here is that everybody's going to be treated And, you're going to be accountable. And then not only am I going to do that, but you're going to have to do that for your own teammates as well, because we're all in this together. And if she fails, we all fail. And they've really adapted. And there's been some, test the water things and like there is, but they bounce back and they keep letting us challenge them.
Well, so I know you said 2 players back from last year, really only one that played there because of injury to one. Who are some of your leaders early on? What are some of the names we'll hear a lot?
Yeah, no, I mean, with the one you're talking about that didn't play last year because she was hurt, she's actually been here. This is her 6th season. She's been injured, and she was on the team, though, as a freshman that won it in 2020. So she's she's like one of our assistant coaches as well. Like, she's very good to be able to go to and just say, what's worked here throughout the years, from on the court stuff to off the court stuff. So I think she's definitely been a great leader to start.
Who's that coach?
And that's Sophie Buzzard.
Yeah.
And she's like I said, she's been great. She's great for culture. She's great for the girls to have somebody to go to and look up to. And I trust that she's then helping them make the right decision and put them in the right direction. And then, of course, Lexi. Lexi is back with me, and
McCauley played for you at MAC.
Yep. And she, what she brings is she just did a lot of winning at Georgia Southwestern with Hannah, and I think that run got her excited, and just the appreciation of coming with me and what we can do here. And, she was a big part of starting my culture and being a part of that at MAC. And I appreciate that from her, just coming in and with the energy. And I think that when you can bring in a player, and she was one of the later ones that we brought in, and, that's kind of can get sticky because then they're like, oh, here's, BP's going to bring in her own kid here and blah, blah, blah. But it hasn't. It's, now they're like, what would we do if we did not have Lexi? She's just on and off the court, just funny. She's a good teammate. She's a heck of a player, heck of a competitor, but she definitely brings the leadership. We've got, Kennedy that's from Bartlett. She's from Texas State, but she brings a lot of winning in her background and competitiveness and wants to be great. And just trying to figure out how I want my point guards, to be, and her figuring me out and me figuring her out. So that'll be a great thing to moving forward. And then our St. Louis kids, freshmen, true freshmen are fantastic. And that's Anaya Williams and Zoe Best. And as you know, clearly Zoe Best is Incarnate Word and has a couple of rings that she's, expecting to. She didn't come here to lose. She wants to come here and win like she has done. And Anaya's terrific as far as she's coming along and starting to get just more and more comfortable daily with, just habits and things and being pushed, probably the hardest she has been. So those are just, off the top of my head, we've got just a great group. I think we've got a bunch of leaders that kind of bring their own little, maybe some of them's not vocal, but some of them lead by example, or, some of them are just great teammates, or some of them just root for each other hard. And that there's somebody to go and have a shoulder on. And I think that it's a neat combination of kids for sure.
I know that you will use bulletin board material, and I think it's understandable with everything new, the coach, the players, everything like that. Semo was voted 11th in the preseason by the coaches. Is that on the bulletin board?
Yeah, it's on their lockers, and Harrison, we put it all over the place. And so, it's definitely, it's I get it, right? Because of the situation and whatnot, but it'd be a lie to, and this, me too well, that's like, man, you guys are, okay.
So you're so good at connecting with the community, I think. What do you want, or maybe initially, what is the game day experience like, and what do you want it to be like for people that come and see your team?
Yeah, I think that just with our kids this summer and this fall, getting out in the community and actually getting to truly meet people, not just wave to them, but get to meet people, have them to the house, have them we go to their house for dinner, things like that. It makes you where then now they're coming to the game and they know personally these kids. And so when, they win, when they lose, whatever the case is, like they feel for those kids, and and then those kids see those people showing up because they made a connection with them. So that's something that they take a lot of pride in, that like, look, you got them here. And so now I want to play hard for them in this program, because that's the support they've given. And, I don't want to play in front of 10 people, and either do they, but you can't just talk about it. You've got to go out and you got to do that stuff to make your presence known and put a good product out there with kids that play hard for their team and their town.
Are you still the best half court shooter on your team?
Yeah, we tested this a couple times. Lexi said yesterday after our scrimmage, she said, "So what are we going to do for game day? Are we doing the behind the, And I was like, that is that. I mean, it's the least I've thought about, but we'll figure something out, I'm sure. But yes, I'd challenge any of those girls any day to a backwards half court shot.
Well, we'll miss you, but you're not too far away. Folks can make that short drive from this area down and support you. We think you're going to do great. Maybe, you probably don't go undefeated your first year, just saying. Yeah. But we know you're going to do a great job there. And thanks for a little bit of your time. It's good catching up with you.
Yes, you too. It's been too long. And yes, you're not a far drive. So you need to make sure to come down, because you always interviewed me and made me sound a lot better than I was.
That's head coach Briley Palmer of the Semo women's Redhawks basketball program in her first year in leading them. And she's going to do a great job. She's joined us right here at Knuckleball Prime Time.